I'm Sorry Newton, and today I'm going to try to explain most of mathematics, at least how I see math. Math is a subject that most people usually just hate. They find it too technical, they don't really know why it's needed, or they know it's needed, but they don't know how it works. So I'm going to try to express it in a different way, a different light to kind of show you guys, how it came to be. Just a quick disclaimer, this is how I see math. So I know there's going to be a lot of hate from scientists and mathematicians. Again, this is how I personally see it. Again, with my research and what I've learned. So don't take it too personal. There's just a different way to look at it. So most of this video will be done on notebook paper. I know, let me have it in the comments, but I just feel like a little bit of visual representation is better than nothing. I know I'm a visual learner. I know it's easier when people can see kind of what's being explained. So real quick, and don't mind my sloppy handwriting, I wrote this pretty fast and I did it using pen. If you're a real OG, you know about these, lifesavers. But again, don't mind the handwriting. Just try to follow. So here's my simple diagram. It goes, math is finding the rate and or area of functions. Likewise, if you have a function, and you're finding the rate or area, you are doing math. Now, rate is a fancy word for slope, and functions is just a fancy word for equations. Most people have probably heard of rate and area, and even though they are very important, I kind of want to focus on the idea of functions, since they are pretty much directly tied into math. So, exactly what is a function or an equation? The best way to describe a function is to actually look at the history of math. Scientists and mathematicians will often describe math as the language of the universe. Now that can be a little confusing, so I'll try to explain. Our universe is governed by cause and effect. So for everything in our universe, there's always a cause followed by an effect. Now some example of this is, if I get money, the cause, I'll be happy, the effect. If I'm late, the cause, I'll probably get in trouble, the effect. If I punch you in the arm, the cause, you'll probably punch me back, the effect. So human beings had to figure out a way to represent cause and effect. So that is what a function really is, a visual representation of cause and effect. Now this is the most basic function there is in math. It's x equals y. X being the cause and y being the effect. So again, some examples of this would be, if I get money, the cause, that's gonna equal me being happy, the effect. If I punch you in the arm, the cause, that's gonna equal you punching me back, the effect. That x and y are just variables. I don't know why they use x and y, maybe because x comes before y, I don't know. But you don't have to use x and y. It's just, I guess, common in math for them to use x and y. You can use whichever variables you want. So if you've taken a math class, you might have always heard your teacher say y equals f of x. So what is f of x? Well, this is just another way of saying effect. It's just saying that if you have a cause, which is the x, that'll lead to the effect, which is the f of x. So that is equal to y. So when you see this, don't get confused. It's just saying y, effect. The cause in the middle, and then the whole thing is the effect. So these two are equal. So we can write this equation like this. Notice it's the same thing. We just replace the f of x with y. Remember, they are equal. Same thing, you have your cause equals to your effect. Usually in math, it'll be written like this, but it shows the same relationship in the universe of cause and effect. I still prefer this way, but just in case you see that you know what it is. So what makes a function even more powerful is that a function can be used to represent all causes and effects. What I mean by that is you can use a function to represent a cause and effect that exists, that doesn't exist, or that's made up. So, for example, let's say for every time I cough, you jump. Now, that doesn't really seem like a real cause and effect that happens, but it could. Even ones that are, made up or imaginary. Let's say for every time I slam a door, a unicorn appears. Well, that's still imaginary, but that's the power of cause and effect. It can be used to create a relationship of a cause and effect. So when you think about like Newton's laws or Einstein's equation E equals mc squared, they all started off as just a function and a cause and effect relationship. So I guess the difference between an equation and a function is an equation is more scientifically tested and proven. But make no mistake, when they first drew it up, it was some cause followed by some effect. Again, if you do learn something, please support the channel, subscribe, like, comment. Even if you don't agree, comment, if you have a better way of explaining it, somebody might, vibe with that a little better. Even I might vibe with that a little better, just to create a community to, figure out time travel. Let's do it. I keep 100%. Niggas talking shit. I don't give a shit. What the fuck is rent? You know I own my shit. Brody pour a fifth.